Hey everyone, so today I'll be showing off my OpenGL ES2 branch of SFML, both SFML2 and SFML3. So as some of you might know, SFML uses OpenGL ES1 on mobile platforms. The main issue with that is that although on desktop OpenGL you can mix the most modern version 4.6 with legacy OpenGL 1. On OpenGL ES, you cannot really do that. OpenGL ES 1 has fixed rendering pipeline, and OpenGL ES 2 has a programmable one. So the main issue is that you cannot mix OpenGL ES 2 with OpenGL ES 1. And OpenGL ES 2 has shaders, while OpenGL ES 1 doesn't. So if you'd like to use shaders on either Android or iOS, you can't because SFML uses OpenGL ES 1. Now, with SFML 4, the plan is to change this, so hopefully SFML 4 will use a more modern version of OpenGL. But as of currently, SFML2 and SFML3 both use that old 1.0 version of OpenGL ES. So what I've done here is I've made the changes necessary for shaders to be supported on mobile platforms. And there have been realistically not that many changes. It's just finding what is deprecated and what needs to be swapped. The main difference here are, so there are two extra functions. We have the get default shader and get default texture shader. So I've provided these since with OpenGL ES2 you have to have at least some default shaders. Shaders are not provided by default. So both of these branches should be completely backwards compatible with any SFML code, so you should simply just be able to clone this and build it. I've made a tutorial for both Android and iOS how to build an SFML Android iOS app. In case you use my project template, which is mentioned in those videos, on Android you'll only need to change here GLES version 1 to just GLES version 2, and that's it, without this CM, which stands for, I don't know, common something. Anyways, the main difference is that there are now default shaders. So these are functions that anyone can use, although I don't think I've ever used them. So these are the default shaders that are provided. You can see here in case of OpenGL ES, this is the default shader, and in case of desktop OpenGL, this is the one provided. Honestly, I would probably just use regular SFML for desktop applications and this for mobile applications. It should behave identically, but I don't trust myself, honestly. Anyways, yes, so if you want to write your own shaders, which if you're watching this video you probably are, you will need to use these uniforms, and they are basically SF underscore and then the name, what you'd expect. So for matrices, we have the model view matrix, SF underscore model view. For the projection matrix, we have SF underscore projection. The texture shader has a bit more uniforms, so we have texture coordinates, and there is, I think, a sampler. Yeah, there we go. So a sampler as a texture, right? This factor input. So OpenGL ES2 I don't think supports non-power of 2 textures. So this will basically tell you what is the ratio between the texture size and the closest power of 2 to that texture. Anyways, that is, I think, mostly what anyone might notice from the changes. As I've mentioned on Discord, right, the main new things are shaders and also render textures with stencil and depth buffers. This wasn't available with OpenGL ES 1, and this should work now, although anti-aliasing and stencil/depth buffers, they don't work, so you have to pick either one. That is more or less everything. So yeah, there is the SFML2 version and the SFML3 version, and they should be very simple to use. I've tested this. I'm using this branch for chain reaction 2 at the moment, so the main testing I've been doing was there, and well, it seems to work just fine. Any bugs I've encountered I've fixed, so if you'd like to, I don't know, test a game that works with my branch on SFML2, so chain reaction 2 is currently only SFML2. You can test that, I guess. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Any questions related to these branches, you can either create an issue, which it isn't perfect, so there are obviously some issues, or you can just ask in the comments, but I hope it should be very simple to use. Anyways, that is all from me. Thank you for watching, and until the next one.